where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
In a small village surrounded by dry fields and endless dust, lived a boy named Armin. His house was made of mud bricks, his clothes were simple, and his dreams far too big for a place like that. Every morning before sunrise, Armin would wake up to help his father in the fields. The land was stubborn. No matter how hard they worked, the crops barely grew. His father often said, "This is our fate." But Armin never believed that. At night, while others slept, Armin would sit under a flickering lantern reading old torn books he borrowed from a distant school. He didn't have proper education, but he had something stronger: determination. People in the village laughed at him. "Why are you wasting time reading?" one neighbor would say. "You'll end up in the same field like your father," another would add. Armin would smile quietly and return to his books. One day, a teacher from the nearby town visited the village. She noticed Armin sitting alone, deeply focused on a book. "What are you reading?" she asked. "Anything I can find. I want to learn everything." The teacher saw a spark in his eyes, a rare kind of hunger. She decided to test him. She asked him questions, math, science, language, and to her surprise, he answered most of them correctly. "You don't belong here," she said softly. "You belong in a school." Armin's heart raced. "But I can't afford it." The teacher paused for a moment. "If you're willing to work hard, I will help you." That day changed everything. Armin began walking 10 kilometers every day to attend school in the town. He worked in the fields in the morning, studied during the day, and read late into the night. His body was tired, but his mind was alive. There were days he wanted to give up. Days when his legs hurt too much to walk. Days when hunger made it hard to focus. Days when failure whispered, "You're not good enough." But every time he felt weak, he remembered something his mother once told him before she passed away. "Your life will become what you believe about yourself." So he kept going. Years passed. Armin became one of the top students in his school. His teachers admired him not just for his intelligence, but for his discipline. He never missed a day. He never stopped trying. Eventually, he earned a scholarship to a prestigious university in the city. The village was shocked. "The same boy we laughed at?" they whispered. Yes, the same boy. But the journey didn't get easier. In the city, Armin faced a new challenge. The students were smarter, richer, and more confident. He felt small again. In his first semester, he failed 2 subjects. For the first time in years, Armin doubted himself. Maybe they were right. Maybe I don't belong here. That night, he sat alone in his room, staring at his books. He thought about quitting, going back to the village, living a simple life. But then he remembered the long walks, the hungry nights, the sacrifices. He didn't come this far just to stop. So he made a decision. I will not quit. From that day, Armin changed his strategy. He started asking questions in class. He studied in groups. He spent extra hours in the library. He failed again, but this time he learned from it. Slowly, things began to change. His grades improved, his confidence grew, his fear disappeared. By the final year, Armin wasn't just passing, he was leading. He graduated at the top of his class. The same boy who once studied under a dim lantern was now standing on a stage receiving an award for excellence. But his story didn't end there. Armin could have taken a high-paying job in the city, but he chose something different. He went back to his village. People were confused. Why come back after achieving so much? Armin smiled. Because I know what it feels like to have dreams, but no opportunity. He used his knowledge to build a small school in the village. It wasn't big, it wasn't perfect, but it was a beginning. Children who once played in the dust were now holding books. Parents who once believed in fate were now believing in possibility. And Armin? He became more than successful. He became meaningful. Years later, someone asked him, "What was the secret of your success?" Armin replied, "I didn't have the best resources, I didn't have the easiest path, but I had one thing. I refused to quit."